Welcome back to the Red Dice Diaries. Now, it's fairly safe to say that in RPGs, as in real life, what makes the time we or our characters have so precious in this world, at least partly, is that at any point in time we know that it could all be taken away from us. And whilst we don't like to dwell on this in real life, it's fair to say that the same is true of our characters. And not all deaths are heroic, noble and brave, particularly if you're playing a game like Dungeons and Dragons and you're at low level. After all, even a person who seems destined to become the stoutest of dwarven heroes or the mightiest of warriors can, at the very start of their career, be felled by a simple goblin's arrow or the cudgel of a bandit on a lone road as they travel through the countryside. And in my opinion, that's as it should be. Now you might say, oh yeah, but isn't it a bit crap to die after genning up a character and getting invested in it, and a stray arrow catches you and that's it, down you go? Well, yes, it is a little bit crap, to be honest. It's a little bit sorrowful. It can be, if you're invested in the character, a little bit heartbreaking. And that, in my mind, is as it should be. After all, that's what death's supposed to be like, to my mind. Those people who are left behind grieve, they feel loss, and eventually they move on. Now, like many things in a role-playing game, this is often condensed down because of the time scales involved. And after all, we're not dealing with a real person, we're dealing with a fictional character. But as we've seen with other media, TV, books, etc., people often become very upset when their favourite characters in a TV series or a book perish. You only need to look at the outcry about many of the characters in Game of Thrones and how many characters have died in that to see that in action. However, that's as it should be, to my mind. After all, without defeat there can never be the possibility of triumph. For every character that scales the dizzying heights of heroism and realises their full destiny, there are millions of others who fall by the wayside, or who have that potential but were just unfortunately not able to grasp that prize, or maybe we're just even unlucky. And that's the way such things go. After all, if every person who set their feet on the path of heroism reached this majestic destiny that they're aiming for, then the worth of it would seem somewhat lessened. To give you an analogy, to make an example of this, gold and diamonds, for instance, they have great worth in our real world, but that's only because of their rarity. If every street were paved with diamonds and every shop front was covered in gold, there would be no inherent value in it. And such is the same case for heroism. If there were too many people who reached those dizzying heights, then there would be less value placed individually on their achievements. It is the rarity of these true heroes and the knowledge that there are many others who did not make it which makes them have value in our eyes. So the way I tend to look at it personally is, if one of my characters dies due to bad luck through no fault of my own, or just some random act, then I look at it that at least my character tried. They might not have reached their full destiny, but I'm paving the way for those who have. And also I look at it as an opportunity to create an even better character and attempt to top my previous efforts. So that's why I seldom get upset when a character, even a beloved character, dies, because you can see it as an end and a loss, but it's also an opportunity and a doorway to potential future adventures that you might not have even considered with your initial character concept. So if you find yourself in this situation and you've lost a character, maybe you even lost a few characters, you're playing like an OSR game or a particularly lethal game, don't look at it as a loss. Look at them as brave heroes who fell in that journey towards their destiny and whose path has blazed a trail for others. I know that they will not be alone, because many more fall into death's icy grasp than actually reach that golden summit of glory. So this has been Red Dice Diaries, rambling a little about the grisly spectre of character death. Whatever game you're playing, however you're playing it, I hope you have great fun, and may the dark shadow of death not to darken your door this day. Take care.